spirits of the river! Amaka! You have brought shame upon this land. You and your mother shall bear the curse of your father's sins.
Father. Papa? You must finish. Finish what I started.
When the first cock crowed, I was far from the village. The cold wind brushed my cheeks, and the forest leaves whispered secrets that only spirits could understand. But back in Umwaka, the village I had called home since birth, peace had died the night my mother and I disappeared. By sunrise, our compound was filled with the cries of neighbors and the pounding of footsteps. The news spread faster than Hamatan fire. Odogwu, the mighty hunter, the fearless man of the gods, lay between life and death. The elders gathered at the village square, their faces stern and troubled. "The gods must be angry," said Elder Mazukadike, the oldest man in Umwaka, leaning on his staff. "A man cannot play with the spirits and expect his child to live untouched." They sent for the chief priest, the same man who had guided my father to the hill that dreadful night. But when he arrived, his face was pale, his voice trembling. He looked at my father's body, motionless, his breathing shallow, and shook his head. "Odogwu has offended the balance," he said. "He made a vow to the river goddess and broke it. The thunder that struck him was not from the sky, it was judgment." The women wailed, the men murmured among themselves. Some cursed my father for bringing shame upon the village. Others pitied him, saying no man should suffer such torment while his child fled into the darkness. But far away, my mother and I walked along a narrow bush path, carrying only a small bag of clothes, roasted yam, and a calabash of water. The night birds sang above us. I could hear my mother sniffing quietly as she walked, her wrapper brushing against dry leaves. I wanted to ask her where we were going, but the words refused to leave my lips. Something told me she didn't know either. We were just moving, away from the memories, away from the curse. By dawn, we reached a small deserted hut at the edge of the forest near Ihuoma stream. My mother cleaned the floor, spread a mat, and laid my head on her lap. "My daughter," she said softly, her eyes heavy with sorrow. "We will not die. The gods are watching, but your father's secret, it must not follow you." I stared into her eyes, and for the first time, I saw fear. Not the fear of the forest or the spirits, but the fear of truth. That night, sleep refused to come. I heard the sound of flowing water calling my name. "Amaka, Amaka." I rose quietly and stepped outside. The moon hung like a silver eye, watching. The sound came from the stream nearby. I followed it barefoot through the soft soil until I reached the water's edge. And there, standing above the rippling stream, was my father. He looked alive, but different. His eyes glowed faintly like burning charcoal. He smiled, yet it wasn't a smile of peace. It was one of longing and pain. "Papa," I whispered. "My daughter," his voice echoed like wind through hollow bamboo. "You must finish what I started. Only then will peace return to our blood." I trembled. "Papa, I don't understand." He pointed toward the river. "The sacrifice was not for wealth. It was to seal my fate. The woman of the river demanded the life of my blood, but I refused. That is why I was struck down. You must find her and break the bond." Before I could reply, the wind howled and he vanished. Journey to the River Woman. When morning came, I told my mother what I saw. Her eyes widened in terror. "No, Amaka, the woman of the river is not to be seen twice. She takes what she desires. She took your father's soul. Do not go near her." But my heart burned with questions. Why would a father trade his peace for his child? Why did the gods demand blood for love? By midday, I made up my mind. I packed the same small bag we had carried, tied my hair with a red cloth, and set out toward the river. The path was long and haunted by silence. Trees whispered my name as I walked. When I reached the riverbank, mist covered the surface like smoke from unseen fire. I knelt and spoke softly. "Woman of the river, I am Amaka, daughter of Odogwu. Show yourself." The water stirred. Slowly a shape rose, tall, graceful, her skin shimmering like moonlight on oil. Her eyes were deep as the ocean, and her voice sweet yet sharp. "Child of the stubborn hunter, you carry his disobedience in your veins. Why do you seek me?" Tears filled my eyes. "I want to free my father. Please, great mother, let him rest." She laughed, and the sound echoed across the hills. "Freedom comes with a price, child. Your father took from me what was mine. He promised your life and broke his vow. Now his spirit lingers between worlds." I swallowed hard. "Then take me instead, if my life will bring him peace." But before I could finish, thunder rolled across the sky, and the woman raised her hand. "Foolish girl, your love is pure, and that purity is your strength. It is not your life I seek. It is your forgiveness." She touched my forehead, and suddenly visions flooded my mind. My father kneeling before her years ago, begging for power to protect his land, promising his first child. I saw him break the vow, burning the sacred leaf, defying her command. When the visions ended, I collapsed, weeping. "Go," she said softly. "Gather the ash from the place where thunder struck him. Mix it with your tears and speak his name under the morning sun. Only then will the bond break." And with that, she sank back into the river. By the next morning, I returned to the hill. The same hill where my father had fallen. The grass was burned black, and the smell of smoke still lingered in the air. I knelt and gathered the ash carefully into a small clay pot. My tears fell and mixed with the dark dust, turning it to thick paste. I whispered, "Father, if love could undo curses, I would have freed you long ago." The wind blew gently, carrying the sound of drums from afar. The village was mourning. My heart grew heavy, but I continued. As the sun rose fully, I stood, lifted the pot, and poured the ash into the wind. The dust swirled, glowing faintly, and for a moment I saw his face again, smiling, peaceful, free. A soft voice echoed around me. Amaka, my daughter, you have done what even men of the gods could not. Live without fear. The curse is broken. When I returned to the village, the people gathered in silence. The elders stared as if they had seen a ghost. Elder Ukadike raised his staff. The gods have answered. The storm has passed. Odogwu's child returns with peace. My mother ran to me, tears flowing freely. She touched my face as if to confirm I was real. My daughter, where have you been? I smiled faintly. Mama, I went where Papa could not. That evening, as the sun set behind the palm trees, the drums of cleansing sounded. The priest poured libation to the gods and blessed our compound. My father's body, once cold and lifeless, was buried with honor. That night, for the first time in many moons, the sky above Umuaka was clear. No thunder, no lightning, no cries of spirits, only peace. Years have passed since that night. The river no longer calls my name, and the wind no longer carries the whispers of the dead. Sometimes I sit by the same river where I saw my father's spirit and watched the reflection of the moon. I remember the woman of the river's words. Forgiveness is stronger than sacrifice. Now I tell this story to the young ones in the village. They listen wide-eyed, clutching their mats as the fire crackles. And when they ask me what became of my father, I smile and point to the stars. I say, he walks among them, free at last. Then I remind them of the lesson the gods taught me, that no secret stays buried forever, and that love, when pure, can heal even the deepest curse. Thank you, my beautiful viewers, for watching this powerful story to the end. Your love and support means so much to me. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, and share with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss our next emotional story. Remember, new stories drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday by 7 p.m. Nigeria time, right here on this channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. See you in the next story, my people. God bless you all.